Okay, so I know that people, including myself in the past, say that they're going to read more books and then they simply just don't. But I'm going to be different and I'm going to be the exception and I will actually read more books and I'm going to finally get to everything that I never got the time to read or wasn't bothered to read. And I guess I'm going to come on here and talk about them. So I guess this is sort of like a part one of a series of book reviews. And we're starting off strong with Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Okay. I've had this book for probably over a year, and I started reading it and then stopped a short way in. And then about a month and a half ago, I started over again and I finished the whole thing. And that's about how long it took for me to read it. And look, the reason I originally stopped reading it was this book is like 200 years old. I'm pretty sure it was written in the late 1700s. And the language is so much more complex. Like, look, these people talk in rhymes and riddles, okay? I have never read anything this old before, and so I wasn't used to the, intricate details and lingo that they use in their speech, and so I was getting, like, mental fatigue reading it because I didn't understand. But, like, after a while, once I started reading it again, after I got a few chapters in, it got a lot easier and, I got better understanding. And, look, I love that. This is a great story. It's a great book. It's a classic for a reason. I'm pretty sure this is, like, Jane Austen's most popular book. But if you're looking for a easy, light read, I probably wouldn't recommend this. But I would recommend it on a normal basis if you're bothered to get through it. Jane Austen is a fantastic writer. This is just overall an incredible and fun book. And I found that she's particularly good at making insufferable people. Like, there are some characters in here that are meant to be disliked, but I was reading and I was like, damn, when's this guy gonna die? Okay, that's either because I'm a terrible person or because Jane Austen is just great at writing characters that make you feel how she wants you to make them feel. Wait. Or because Jane Austen is just really good at creating characters that make you feel the way she wants them to make you feel. And she's also, of course, great at writing lovable characters. Like, I gotta give a shout out to my main girl, Elizabeth, who is... Oh, okay, well, I suppose I should give you, like, a base outline of the story. So, first we have our main character, Elizabeth, who has a sister, Jane. And Jane has this love story with this new kid on the block, Mr. Bingley, who recently bought a property in their little area of Hertfordshire. And Mr. Bingley brings along with him his friend, Mr. Darcy, who has basically... I don't know how else to describe it besides like an enemies to lovers slow burn with Elizabeth. Basically, as I was saying, Elizabeth is such a fun character to follow. She is so relatable, and she's also just a really admirable main character. Like, she's a really accurate representation of a 20-year-old girl, I think. I'm pretty sure that's... Jane Austen was around that age when she wrote the book, so that makes sense. One trait that I particularly admire about her is how self-assured she is. Like, she isn't afraid to defend herself and people that she loves, even when it's to someone of a higher ranking to her. She won't allow herself to be belittled simply because she wasn't born wealthy. And also, she's just stronger than me. Like, if Mr. Darcy came to me and proposed, it'd be over. It'd be done. Speaking of Mr. Darcy, I gotta be real, I was low-key cheesing over him as I was reading this book. He's such a formal and put-together man. And when he has these moments of vulnerability and, like, playfulness, it's so fun to read. He's basically mischaracterized by the whole town, and they're constantly berating him for being conceited and prideful and maybe even prejudiced. I'll give you the title drop now so I don't have to say it later. But he's so berated by everyone that doesn't know him, and then you'll see him interacting with people that he enjoys spending time with and loves and admires, and he's just such a sweetheart. And I don't know, I really loved the little interactions and moments that him and Elizabeth had, and I'll be real, they had me giggling and kicking my feet and twirling my hair. He's just such a cutie. I think that the build-up between him and Elizabeth is really well written. Jane Austen paces it really well. It's a long book. It covers, I'm pretty sure, over a year. And it's really interesting to read their, like, feelings develop for each other, because not only are they happening at different rates, but also at different periods of time. Basically, Mr. Darcy has this really gradual increase in his feelings for Elizabeth, basically until halfway through the book, from where onwards he's just in love with her. And Elizabeth initially despises the man up until after she rejects him and his actions and intentions are explained, and she realizes he's not the man that she thought he was. And there's this long period of her realizing that she actually quite admires him. And so this tension builds up to this great reunion where neither of them realize that the other is actually in love with them. And yeah, it was just so fun to read. Like I said before, Mr. Darcy is just such a formal, reserved character. But despite that, you can still see his affection towards Elizabeth in these really subtle and soft displays of affection. And it's just... oh, it's so sweet. But yeah. Honestly, I'll be real. The pacing scared me a little. The 50 pages left on the book. No one's married. The family name is tarnished. And everything's basically just gone to shit. There's just so many key plot points that become this tangled mess of characters and consequences. And I just had no clue how it was going to wrap up neatly. But, you know, Jane Austen came in clutch. She wrapped it up perfectly fine. And yeah, overall just a really good book. Would definitely recommend. And also that one guy that reviewed the book and said that it was just a bunch of people visiting each other's houses, he kind of got it right. Yeah, I gotta be real. That's probably the best way to summarize it. But I would still recommend. It's a great book. And that's probably where you thought I was gonna end the video. But guess what? I also said I was gonna watch more movies this year. So in the week after I finished this book, I watched probably over 10 hours worth of Pride and Prejudice adaptations. And you're gonna hear about them. Okay, the first one that I watched was the 2005 movie, which sacrificed a lot of its historical accuracy at the expense of aesthetics. But because of that, I think that this one is my favorite one to watch visually. The set design is incredible. All the environments look so lived in and visually interesting. And there is some incredible camera work in this one as well. There'll be these really long one-take shots that is so well coordinated, where we're moving through rooms, following characters and events that are all happening simultaneously, and it's just incredible to watch. The soundtrack as well is beautiful. I think that this movie is a really good visualizer for the book. It sort of felt like watching snapshots of scenes and sets in the book rather than watching the whole entire book as a movie. It took liberties from the book, which I think are necessary because there are so many events and details that I don't think you could just fit into one movie. So some of the characters and scenes were cut and changed and mushed together. And there's definitely a heavy focus on Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy and their love story. The characters are also a lot more emotive in this version. In the book, they're quite they're quite limited because of the expected civility and manners due to the time period, but they were loosened more in this movie, which I liked because it means we got a more expressive and open version of the characters. I quite liked how giggly and lively Elizabeth was, and also the most unrealistic part of this is the fact that she's played by Keira Knightley, and Mr. Darcy still wants to say that she's
not handsome enough to tempt me.
Heavily considered homosexuality. Alas, speaking of Mr. Darcy, I think in terms of how expressive they are, he was changed the most. I think in the book, he's very guarded because of his formality, as where in the movie, he's more guarded because he's antisocial and awkward. Also, wow, dangerous levels of pining coming out of him in this film. I mean, I, personally, you won't catch me complaining about writers taking narrative liberties if it means getting the hand flex scene, the I know scene. You'll... Look. Screw book accuracy if it means I get an angry and passionate confession, proposal, and rejection in the rain. Look, it might not be book accurate, but it's accurate to what the audience wants to see. And this movie probably has my favorite version of Jane. But I was damn near vaporized when I saw Mr. Bingley. No one, besides Elijah Wood, should have eyes that big and that blue. It's not right. It's not right. After that, I got right into the 1995 version, which is a 6-episode TV show, and I'm pretty sure each episode was around like an hour. So they gave themselves a lot more time to fit everything in, because this one is not only the most historically accurate, but also the most book accurate. It's pretty much a one-to-one, scene-for-scene of the book, except for one single scene where Mr. Darcy jumps into a lake, comes out dripping wet. There's this informal, awkward, flustered reunion between him and Elizabeth, and it was great. It was... What can I say? This one was also probably my favorite character-wise, simply because it was so book accurate. Jennifer Ely, I'm pretty sure is how you say her name, who played Elizabeth. Fantastic job. I think she played Elizabeth so well. She did her justice. The right amount of, self-confidence and unseriousness, and I don't know. Elizabeth has this air of whimsy about her. I don't know. She's just very sweet and cute, and I think she played her really well. And Colin Firth. Oh! Colin Firth is a great actor, and I think he did a great job of playing Mr. Darcy as well. My favorite version of Darcy, 100%. And there's some tough competition, but he's my favorite. Colin Firth was able to maintain the very guarded and regulated manner that Mr. Darcy holds himself in, but he has these really subtle micro expressions and shifts in his look that portray the affection that Mr. Darcy feels for Elizabeth in the book, but it's so much clearer because I think it's easier just to read how someone feels in their face compared to trying to describe the subtle expression change in words. It's a really good representation of Mr. Darcy's feelings with the visual aid. It just makes it so much clearer how enamored he is with her. And wow, those last 2 episodes are just a field day. I mean, look at him. Oh my god. Keep that man away from me, because look, once again, it had me giggling and kicking my feet. Okay, this is him flustered, seeing her for the first time after she basically shows up at his house unexpectedly. Flip to the next scene, please. This is him watching her play the piano with his sister. Lord have mercy. Because what I would do if I was Elizabeth. But anyways, I preferred this version of Mr. Bingley. Clearly I didn't get the memo that he had to be wide, blue-eyed. And also he's a little bit of a goofball, I suppose. But I preferred this version of him. He wasn't, you know, he was still a little bit silly, but mostly very cute and sweet. And I liked him and Jane's relationship a lot throughout this one. Also, I thought it was really funny that they had a double wedding. Okay, if me and my homeboy aren't getting married side by side, are we really doing it right? But I just thought that scene was really funny. Also, unrelated, and only about 3 people in the whole world will understand this, but I swear on my life, one of the locations from this D&D campaign that I made realized itself and jump scared me and showed up as Mr. Darcy's Pemberley estate. And I had to pause the show and take a moment, because this place that I made up in my head genuinely just revealed itself to me in this show. And then last but most certainly not least, I jokingly decided to watch Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, the 2016 movie. And I say jokingly, but I did actually start reading the book with the end goal of watching this movie. And honestly, for what they had to cover, this was more book accurate than I thought it was going to be. It was sort of just as if the events of the book were occurring during a zombie apocalypse. And the first half was pretty decently consistent with the book. And then, I don't know, halfway through, they totally went off the rails, gave up, and started doing their own thing. And also decided that it should be lit like an episode of Nowhere Boys. This version was obviously the least character accurate as well, but I feel like they get a pass because of the insane situation that they're in. Also, I thought it was really interesting to see a period zombie drama, because they're all fighting them with cannons and flintlock pistols and swords. And by the way, I've never heard a movie with more swing sound effects. Every 10 seconds, they're pulling out a sword and it's making a sound. Also, I think that this one needs more context because it's got all these zombie logistics going on. So basically, after being bitten by a zombie, they maintain their humanity and they only fully turn after they eat human brains. And Mr. Wickham, who is sort of this like villain in the book, is now the big bad, and he is public enemy number 1. He's secretly infected and is planning to lead the zombies in on an organized attack on London. Oh, also, everyone either studies Japanese or Chinese traditional martial arts, and also the language.
I don't speak Japanese.
Which is, it's never explained why. Why those two? They have guns. But yeah, so Mr. Darcy can speak Japanese. There's this one bridge that leads out of London to the rest of the world because they're cut off for some reason. And that bridge gets blown up while Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy are riding a horse across it. And I just want to say that they 100% should have been blown up. There was literally a shot where you see the bridge blow up under them. There's no way they escaped from that. Also, before that, there's another lake scene where Mr. Darcy jumps in and comes out dripping wet. What is it with everyone and seeing Mr. Darcy wet? Like, every film adaptation decided that he has to be drenched head to toe in at least one scene. Also, I have to acknowledge it. Mr. Bingley looks like the lost sixth member of One Direction. This was very clearly made in 2016. Also, they did it again! There's another double wedding! And on top of that, Mr. Darcy is fitted up in a full-length leather trench coat. And on top of that, he's posed up with a katana. And I also cannot believe that the last shot of this film, as it fades to black, is Mr. Darcy saying in the most monotone voice, "I'm so happy." Anyways, that is my review of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. And if you happen to see me hanging around lakes looking for Colin Firth, just don't worry about it. It's nothing. Just don't worry about it.